Ellen DeGeneres has finally managed to bully Pixar into making a sequel for Finding Nemo. The renewal of Powerpuff Girls, Pete's Dragon, a remake of the 70s movie Pete's Dragon. The Lion Guard is actually a sequel to The Lion King. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is a spin-off movie. Alice Through the Looking Glass. For The Jungle Book, it's the Hey Arnold movie. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Let's discuss sequels, shall we?
Welcome back to Neverland, where if you've watched my past couple of videos carefully, you will have realized that there have been a lot of properties lately that we've been talking about that are not exactly unfamiliar. In fact, the entertainment market, especially for children, right now is full of sequels and prequels and spin-offs and remakes, and even the least attentive should have realized this by now. So in today's video, I want to talk about possible reasons for this phenomenon, and I also have a request for filmmakers working on these right now. There are a lot of remakes and sequels in the works right now, and Disney is huge there. Obviously with their live-action remakes for Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, but also in terms of animation, with their spin-off shows for Tangled and Big Hero 6 that have just been announced. Pixar, just the same, even though they would always say, oh, we're not that kind of studio that will just only produce sequels and remakes. But now, almost all of their movies are sequels, with Finding Dory, Toy Story, Incredibles. And it's the same with other studios. We have Illumination Entertainment with Despicable Me and the Minions. Blue Sky Studios with Ice Age, where I'm just like, please stop making those movies. The first one was good and everything else was crap. And of course, DreamWorks with Kung Fu Panda 3, now How to Train Your Dragon, and their shows. So, as you can see, there are a lot of sequels and remakes at the moment. So, is all of that a problem? Not really, I'd say. I mean, of course, there's always people who will complain about, oh, there's no original content anymore, no original shows, no original movies, but that's not really true. There's still a lot of good original stuff, like just Zootopia, for example. I want to approach this whole issue from a more non-judgmental point of view, and I would rather want to ask the question, why are sequels and remakes being produced so much at the moment? The obvious answer to this question is that remakes and sequels obviously must work financially speaking. Studios like Disney and DreamWorks would not do anything that didn't pay off, literally, because while they're film studios, first and foremost, they're businesses, so they want to be financially stable at the least, if not financially successful. But then the thing is, of course, in order for remakes and sequels to be financially successful, there have to be people who actually pay to see them, which brings us to the audience. So the follow-up question here is, why are people so obsessed with remakes and sequels right now, with the continuation of their beloved properties? Well, I have a theory there, and I've talked about this already earlier in other videos. I obviously have no professional academic proof for this, although just making this video makes me want to research this. But anyway, my theory is that by watching these movies, people have a way of escaping today's time and go back to the better days, to the olden days. Now let me explain. Especially people my generation, but also 10 to 15 years older, and definitely also younger folks, have had parents from the 50s, 60s, 70s grow up at a good point in society where things were financially stable, where apart from society's expectations, they were able to do whatever they wanted to in comparison to our grandparents, their parents. So they've had quite positive attitudes growing up, and then in turn taught us that we could be anything we wanted to be. Turns out, with all of the social crises and financial crises going on right now, it's not as simple for us. And as a result, I think my generation and all the ones around my generation have become quite pessimistic. All of this is pretty subjective, of course. Of course there were problems in the 70s and 80s, and just today we grow up under completely different conditions. Like, we have social media to constantly remind us of the problems that we have, which maybe was not the case so much back in the days. Anyway, though, I do think that we look back with a certain sense of nostalgia and just missing these good times. And this makes us crave also the entertainment things that we used to love at that point. And that brings us back to sequels and spin-offs. All of this brings me to my request for filmmakers and producers and directors and actors. I have no problem with you making remakes and sequels. I think that's great. Go on, do it. I just have one plea. Please don't forget that we as an audience have fallen in love with these properties, with these movies and shows. So do us a favor and work on them with all your hearts. When we go back to watching the old movies and then in turn continue with the sequels or the prequels or the spin-offs, we are kind of reliving our past or our childhood, and it would be just such a shame if you were to ruin this because you had the money in mind and not the quality. So I beg you, I realize how important money is and the financial success, but still keep these properties at a certain level of quality for us, the audience. Please let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree or have anything to add. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more of me, follow me on Twitter or on Tumblr to keep updated on children's media and my videos, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!